for seeing double. Just a Christmas tree forever. For the rest of it.
I'm starting my audio.
Okay, here's recorded. Recording.
Yeah,
recording.
We're recording.
But yeah. So the first one, I feel like was a little stiff because there were so many people watching, and like we had other things planned.
Not on YouTube, like in the room.
What do you mean?
You said a lot of people watching.
Oh. No, there were
too many people.
Yeah, two people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What did you think of the first one?
It's a good.
I noticed you guys were just trying to be quiet at the end, so you guys just went on your phones and were like, I'll just be quiet and be on my phone.
I was trying not to bother you guys. It's a little daunting when you're first on camera, and that was like Achilles' like first time, really. So I'm sure that, like he even said after, like as soon as the camera was on me, I was like, oh.
He's done this a lot before for his fights, and then I did it once with him like as an actual interview before, though that was different. Mm-hmm. But this, I didn't want it to be so much like an interview thing, like I ask the questions and then you just answer them for me, and then just like a very strict thing. I want it to be more like a podcast where we just chill and talk about stuff.
Yeah, back and forth stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, I could see it being a little stiff, but overall I thought it was pretty good. I think like...
It's because like, you know, when we're chill, what happens is usually me and him are chilling at my house or his house or when we live together. Yeah. And then we were in the middle of talking, and I'd be like, fuck, this is such a good talk. Then I just turn on my SoundCloud and start recording it. So I thought we'd do more of like these. But the whole plan with this, maybe I won't have to do an intro because I'm going to talk about it now, is that I would like interview people that are kind of where we are or above or below or whatever, like ahead of us or behind us in terms of like living life on their own terms, kind of like they're not like just trying to do what everybody else is doing or whatever. Like, I don't know, we're trying to live life on our own terms, hopefully, by trying to like make videos and all that stuff. Yeah. And obviously it's going to be like insanely difficult, and there's a lot of things that we have to do, but this, like, we're not even like a year in after fully like committing to this, which I'm pretty committed to it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, it was really cool that, I know I always talk to you about this, how it was like really cool how like I met you in like university and how the coincidences and all that stuff.
It's true, you kind of just happen to fall upon these people that kind of are like-minded.
And then like, remember like I was so like, I wanted you guys to be friends and shit, so that when we do shit, I'm always so happy because it's like, you guys are friends now, like you're friends with Sim and you're friends with Brat.
I tried that with so many other people and it doesn't work, or they're just not down. Like a lot of people aren't willing to take that like step.
Yeah, I know you really want me to be friends with your friend Juno.
I do, and I'm like, Juno, come film, and then it's like always like, oh, I gotta do this or but I really want to film stuff. And it's like, well, fuck, this is a good step. Like, come meet people.
Yeah, no, Juno seems cool though.
He's a chill guy, but that's not what we're here for. Going back to the Achilles thing, like...
Juno, I'll make videos with you, man.
Yeah, well... your future best friend here. No, with the Achilles thing, like when you guys were talking, it was just like, it seemed more like you had to prompt like the discussion and be like, can you go into the backyard wrestling thing?
But also it was like, it was my fault too, because I would like, he was in the middle of talking about something and I'd just be like, oh, but I have another question that I kind of wanted to get to. So I would just like cut off what he was talking about to ask the question.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good first one.
But this is nice because there's nobody here. There's and nobody's watching on YouTube either, so, you know.
I mean, we did this in Japan, like that when we were in Chiba.
Japan Talks, Brat Beep Beep.
Yeah, Brat Beep Beep. That was an inside joke there.
Well, if you guys are listening to the podcast, the Japan Talks podcast, you'll hear that little...
It's on your SoundCloud?
On my SoundCloud that I actually spent money on because I wanted to record stuff.
Personal SoundCloud. You should still do that.
I do, yeah, I did. I was hanging out with Bobby and Robin the other day, and Jen, and then it's Bobby and Jen, and then we like had a big podcast.
Oh, really?
It was mostly just us talking, but that's the whole point. Like
that's fine. It'd be troublesome if it wasn't you guys talking. But yeah, I don't know. What do you want us to talk about?
I don't know. There's so many things.
What are the rules for this talk?
I don't know. How do you feel about all this? How do you feel about your life right now in that whole living life on your own terms thing? Because I feel like I had to move back home, and then that's like it feels like an in-between phase, because like I said, I'm planning to like, we're going to move out at some point, like I feel it, like we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. And like right now I feel like we're on a good like momentum with all the new things, with like guys making videos and all these things happening, and now I feel better about it. I don't know.
I think right now is the healthiest the momentum has been in a while.
For
myself and what we're doing here. It's just because like if I focus on our stuff, like we were in this weird gray area and like people weren't doing things and some people were
doing Rain Cloud?
No, I'm talking about Nignag and now going to guys making videos. Our new YouTube channel. It's just like we were showing up less and less because we're kind of like, what's the point in doing this if we're... It was kind of like, why are we meeting up to do this show that will probably be canceled at some point? Or like, we weren't sure. Everything was kind of...
It was when I guess, I don't know, for you guys that aren't sure, like, because, I mean, not that we posted that consistently anyway, even though we tried to, but we were like, really, it's been a mess for a while, because, like, first of all, like, I was kind of breaking off from Nignag, just because I thought maybe I'd want to do other things. Like, my heart still is in, like, film, which I don't know if you guys saw what the fuck did I call them? Reflections? Remember I had the Reflections with you and Sim, and then I had one with Brat, and I was saying how, like, film is really, like, a big thing that I want to keep doing, that I'd like to start doing more of, like, when I did music videos and stuff like that. So that's something that's, like, really close to my heart in terms of creative stuff, but at the same time, it's like, this was something that had so much momentum for me. It had the most momentum for me out of anything in my life that, like with regards to, like, creative stuff, or, like...
Because when I first met you, you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm creative, but I don't know what I want to do with it. Like,
well, I just had no outlet for it. I was just kind of like, I had no friends to, like, do this stuff with.
And I mean, Flat Forward done a pretty good job considering how many people are down to do this now and how often we're actually showing up to do it. But yeah, I know we were in a weird gray area for a little bit, but now it's like, okay, we got a new YouTube channel. Everybody seems more focused and we kind of have more of a direction.
The biggest thing with me though is because I think before, and I think I've said this to you guys before, that like Nignag didn't feel, because I mean, like, even if so let's say, like, worst case scenario, like, let's say, like, something happened and then Nignag was now all my thing, like, I would already change the name anyway.
Exactly.
To be fair, like, just to be honest. And, like, so from the beginning, Nignag never really felt fully like something like that I would do on my own. But there's a lot of momentum going with it, and, like, putting myself now with this new thing, Guys Making Videos, that we decided to call it, which I think is a great name because it's, like, humble and, like, whatever. But
it describes it. That's exactly what it is.
Because we're not sure exactly what we like doing yet. It's just we're experimenting right now.
For sure.
But putting myself in that position where, like, I'm, like, carrying the team, like, I'm the one that's going to be
helming the project there.
Yeah, like, I'm spearheading it, which Brad calls it. Like, I'm spearheading most of these things or whatever. Like, I'm kind of directing whatever. I'm the guy at the wheel. It helps me, like, not feel as, like, because I always felt like kind of like, oh, Nignag, it's not fully my thing, and I didn't really know, because, you know, we'd make jokes like, oh, like, I don't know, Brad was like the chairman of the board of directors of the whatever. So I kind of felt weird to step in and be like, oh, I think we should be doing this or that.
Fake titles and stuff.
Just for fun, right? Just jokes. But even then, like, with this new thing, like, since I had to talk with everyone, you know me, like, I like to talk to everybody transparently about everything. That everybody's agreed that, like, it's a good idea for me to be, or at least we'll try it for now, to have me at the like, helm or whatever, trying to spearhead this stuff. It, like, makes me, like, I feel better about working harder and doing all this stuff. Whereas before I'd be like, oh, come on, guys, can you guys help me do this and that? Whereas now it's like, I feel like if I'm not doing those things, like, whether or not they're doing it doesn't matter. It's like, if I'm the number one guy that's supposed to be doing, like, as much work as I can, then I should be doing them anyway. So it helps me mentally.
For sure. Like, you're steering the ship in a lot of ways. And now I think everybody's there's a better camaraderie in terms of making these videos and stuff.
Do you think so? That's good.
I think so.
I mean, like, I was saying this to you before, how, like, there's other, like, companies or organizations or groups of people that work together where, and I feel like it's kind of rare, but you know they exist, where everybody's like, oh, I'll do this, you do that, and, like, everybody's always talking. There's lots of communication. There's, like, over communication just so things run smoother. But I think it's more common. There's, like, most companies, it's like there's not enough communication, and that's why, like, politics get involved, right? It's like, you don't know what the boss is gonna say when all this stuff. You know how he feels about that when we do this and that. So I mean, in that case, I feel like it's better to have at least one person, like the guy at the helm, like, over communicating.
Yeah, I know.
Right? And like that's why I'm always like with you guys, like I bug you guys all the time. Like it's jokes, but like I bug you guys. Like you're like, are we meeting? Like when are we doing? Like, you know, if like sometimes I'll say something, I'll be like, oh, are we filming? And then like Sim won't say anything or something. And I have to message him like, okay, Sim, are you? And then he'll be like, oh, I don't know yet. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Just tell me you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Because that's
he'll
important.
Be posting in another group.
That happens a lot when you post another group. I'm like, Zach, what the fuck? Like fucking, you know, like reply and stuff. Like it's jokes, but it's true. Like I need to know. It's good for everybody to know to be on the same page, right? Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the people in the group chats, which I'm sure you guys have this, where they're like, people make plans in the group chats and then a couple guys don't say anything. And then they like on the day of or whatever, they're like, I thought we were hanging out. It's like, bro, you didn't reply. How are we supposed to know? Right?
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I mean, but now it's like knowing that I'm the guy that's supposed to be doing that stuff, I feel better about it. Or at least that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Is that like now, whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
No, it feels, in terms of this stuff, like I said, it feels more healthy. And even with the stuff, I guess going to more my stuff that I'm doing on the side, it feels more healthy in that regard too, because we're played our first show and we also got a studio now. So that's been really cool. I've been able to, like, for those of you that don't know, I make comics and music.
Can you like explain all that stuff too? Because like I feel like I've never
fully grasped what I'm doing.
Yeah, like what exactly the plan is with all that, like, or not the plan, but just what you guys want to do with it.
Basically, Gray and I, my buddy Gray, we wrote a comic book and I draw all of it. We wrote that together, and then we also like making music and stuff. Like we have a bunch of friends that make music, so we're like, hey, let's just make music to like. It's not like necessarily like we're soundtracking a comic, you know, like you're soundtracking a movie, but it's kind of like we're making music that's kind of inspired by the aesthetic of the comic.
Well, you also said the comic is they fight with their music.
Yes, in the comic, it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z-ish, the way they fight, but they use music to fight. And then there's like different musical types, and those are kind of like chakras in Naruto, you know, it's kind of like that. And then those kind of play off each other, but it's like a group, like a musical group. If they were like the Justice League, but they don't, they're just like so incapable of working together and stuff. So
that's like a big conflict.
Yeah, like basically they're always trying to work together. One person's always trying to be the leader, but it never works, and like a lot of things happen in that regard. And we got a super long, fleshed out story in that way, the regard.
That's actually pretty cool, because the story itself is them not being able to work together.
It's them always trying to work together, but they're so like such misfits that like. Like one person's a deadbeat that does drugs, another person's like just like wants to be solo, like they want to be that solo artist, but at the same time they know they have to work together for now. And then that they have that inner conflict of like, do I go solo or am I?
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, stuff like that. So we kind of like,
because you know, like me, most or like they come, I don't know, like they're very cliche. A lot of things are very cliche with things just coming together all the time.
And one character's like a sellout, and like we kind of play with that like authenticity conflict, you know, like what makes an authentic artist and shit like that. So like, yeah, they all kind of like argue and fight, and like they come together when they need to, but in a lot of ways it causes more shit to happen. And then we also like don't just focus on these characters. We have so many other characters, like the villain side of it. We flushed that out, so they'll like those are actual characters that you can be like, I kind of understand why they're like this. Like I think it's important. It's not cool like what they're doing, but it's like I kind of understand how they got to that mindset, why they're like evil, or like why they feel like they have to do this. So we fleshed those characters out a lot too, because our original script, like they were not fleshed out at all.
Are any of these characters inspired by you guys?
Oh yeah, they're inspired by tons of people.
Well, I mean, like, is one character more inspired by one person than other character? Like,
yes, definitely.
Because there's one that I see in your things that looks like very close to you.
Yeah.
Is that what you?
Originally, it was me, and it was even the name I went under as an artist.
Which was
Third Lung.
I thought Third Drag.
Yeah, but the Third Drag is when me and Pecky worked together. We combined our names. But
this is good stuff.
Post Drag, yeah. So yeah, we made a comic book, and we made an EP, and we want to put that out on like one big website, so we can constantly put out music and.
So you're not Third Lung anymore?
No.
So you're Third Lung, and then you're Third Drag.
Yeah. Whatever. So Third Lung's not a thing. It's a character in the comic now. It has nothing to do with me. I kind of separated myself from the character, and we kind of write it. Like when I'm trying to write more in my mindset, I'll write through that character. I'll be like, okay, this character, the way they would react in this situation, they would say this, right?
Yeah.
When instead of like I'm writing in another character's head, like, oh, this guy's like a fucking drugged out sellout. He's like dark humor, kind of comedic relief. So he would respond this way, and stuff like that. But when I'm trying to write as myself, I will write through that character like that. And Gray has a character too that they write through, and
Dude, that's fucking pretty cool because like Berserk.
Yes.
Like, did you hear about how Berserk was like written very like a lot of it, not obviously not all of it, but like I'm sure a lot of it was inspired by like his life events. Okay. Like so, like when he when Guts left the crew, the Band of the Hawk, that happened like in real life where he said he had to like not hang out with his friends anymore because he wanted to pursue something else. Like probably his art, probably his art or whatever.
That would make the most sense.
Yeah, but that was like inspired by, I don't know, I just thought that was really cool.
That is really cool actually. Now that you think about it, it does like that story is a good metaphor for, like when you see Griffith and he's like you can these people mean nothing to me. They just kind of help me in my goal ultimately.
But it's also like that reminds me of like a little bit like Gary, like this the people that are like Steve Jobs, like that kind of shit where like if you're gonna like if you're working for Griffith, so I don't know if you guys watch Berserk, but we'll try to put it in a metaphor. Basically, I don't know if you know like Gary Vaynerchuk or Steve Jobs. We'll use Steve Jobs. If you're working for Steve Jobs, then chances are you're not as good as him.
True.
Right? So that's kind of why the guy from Berserk had to break off from his band
because he also wanted to be
as good as because he thinks he could be. Right. So I just thought that was like an interesting concept. I'm sure that's kind of where that came from in Berserk. Where he wanted to like But I always wanted to like write something too, like that was inspired. Like me and Achilles always talk about this, how like we should write an anime based on our lives too. But I gotta start drawing, man. Fuck. That's like my biggest thing is like I should start drawing.
Drawing is a tough thing. But it takes time. But I mean, honestly, if you try for like a year and consistently do it, you can get pretty far. I've seen like those pictures and it's like me and like this year compared to me there, and it's like holy fuck, like you go from like stick figures almost to like this crazy drawing that's really detailed. It's like damn, that like it's possible.
But I'm one of those like it takes me forever to like commit. It's kind of like when we first started doing Seeing Double, like filming and stuff. Like I was saying at first, when I was saying it, I was pitching into Brad. I'm like, oh yeah, this shit will be fucking easy. We'll just put it on the camera and it out. But then when he was like, yo, let's fucking do it today, and this was like months ago when we first started this stuff, he's like, come on, just do it. And I immediately just felt like kind of like fuck, because I already know what it takes. Like every time we do this shit, there's always technical difficulties. Like guaranteed, like 2 or 3 things that fucking just for some reason, like today our recording like device Tascam whatever, just it wouldn't read our memory card for some reason. Like things will happen like just every time. And then the other thing is that like I knew was like, oh, like they don't really know that much about stuff. Like they didn't know how to do things at that time, so it would mostly just be me setting up.
Mainly, and then when you left, I had to do a lot of it.
But I mean, like I'm one of those like all-in guys that it's like I have a lot of friends that are like that. It's kind of like if I want, and I feel like this is a common trend with like our generation because there's so much like information out there. They're like, oh, if I'm gonna do it, then I'm gonna find the best, fastest, most efficient way by looking up stuff on Google, so that I can whatever, and then I'll find the most efficient way to do it, and then it's either that or I'm not doing it at all. Right. So it's like all in or nothing, right? And that's kind of like. Because like drawing meant so much to me, and it still does. I just haven't thought about it in a while. But like it meant so much to me at one point where I really, really wanted to. Then I was doing it for a little bit, but it just kind of like I don't know. I guess it's I don't know if it's that like failure thing or whatever, but it's just like I know that
it's too afraid of failure that you don't even try.
Yeah, like I don't know, because it's that important. It's like that important.
It kind of brings me back to when I used to, because I've gone through like periods of like drawing and I stopped drawing and then draw again back in high school at least, and then. A lot of times I would draw something, and if it didn't turn out right, I would just stop. I would just not do that.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, hey, I don't like this. I'm just done. I'm done.
And then, but if you'd make one that's like really nice, you're just like,
and then you hold it up, and
then you don't draw ever. You're just like, but same thing. You don't draw as much because you're just like, yeah, this is perfect.
Exactly.
And you're just like, yes.
Yeah, and then it took a really long time for me to get over that kind of mindset, because like now I can draw and I go, okay, this character does not look right, I'm just gonna do a new one right now. And I've gotten fast enough that I can be like, okay, I can.
That's the big thing, right? You actually notice that when you watch artists, is they're very like they're just like fast, even if it's shitty, they just or like especially when you see them on their Wacoms and stuff, they just undo whatever, and they just keep doing it fast. It's like speed.
It is speed,
right? And that's what I've been trying to tell the guys too with videos, is that like when we make our videos and stuff like that, like seeing doubles, being stuck on one video, like taking a long time to put out one video just because you're stuck on it, won't make you any better.
No.
What'll make you better is finishing that video, making another one, finishing that one, making another one, and just doing that over and over and over.
That old comparison. It was like the guy that makes like tries to make the one perfect pot.
Did I tell you that one? Because
it might have been you.
I tell everyone that one like all the time.
Oh no, actually, someone else did tell me this one, but I know.
Yeah, the make as many as you can versus make the perfect one.
Perfect pot, and then the person that makes as many as they can ends up being able to make the perfect one.
Yeah, or the best ones at least. It's just the ones that try to make the perfect one just fucking suck.
Like that's what I keep like back to the rain cloud stuff. Like we were looking at pages and I'd be like, hey, we need to tweak this, this, and this. And then I was like, my art's so much better now than these first pages of the comic, but I'm like, we just have to put it out. Like I keep telling them, I'm like, we have to suck for a while. Like you have to suck. Just like us putting out videos originally too. We have to suck for a little while before you get good. And it's like, and then you'll look back and you'll be like, yeah, like going back to the comic, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna look back and I'm not gonna like that art from the beginning, but I'm gonna be happy that I put it out because now I'm at chapter 58 and the art is so good, and like we're moving forward with it. Had we not, we could have focused on the first 10 pages for like ever trying to get those right. I could have redrawn them and like it would have taken forever.
It's like that one I showed you. Remember I was telling you about that one in Berserk?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, and it's nice to see the artist like grow with his art. And grow.
Exactly. People appreciate that too. If you look at the first issue of The Walking Dead, the art is completely different too. They got a new artist after.
Actually, you see those a lot on like Kotaku and stuff, where they like have comparisons of like
web comics. Yeah, you look at like the first page and it's like, whoa, this is what it looked like. This is like they're so stiff looking.
Like Akira Toriyama's like I can't remember, like Kotaku had a bunch of those, like how anime characters have changed over time. Yeah. And they show the first like panel or whatever versus like way later, like years and years later, and they look very different.
A lot of things I noticed as artists progress, they use, generally it depends on the style, they'll use less lines. They'll know how to like do more with less.
Yeah, like it's like Art Germ. Like if you know when you watch Art Germ draw, it's like very just one nice elegant line.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's cool to see that progression, and you gotta suck for a while.
So like, how far are you guys?
I have 30 pages drawn, and I have 15 that are completely finished and ready. So.
And then how long is like a chapter?
A chapter is I want them to be like standard comic chapters, so like around 30 pages. There's a couple chapters that are gonna be like 50 pages. Like they vary, but
like how frequently do you want to put them out?
I'm putting out one page a week, and then we want to put out music as regularly as possible. We're not putting as much of a strict kind of thing on that because there's like ideally we want to get other local artists that we could feature and be like, okay, this week this person's music's featured, and then we're all individually making our own music too. So there's 4 of us making music. So like it would be like, hey, I have a song this week I can put out, and then our Pecky will be like, yeah, I have like an EP that's ready. I'm gonna put that out. So like there'll always be music. I don't want to put like too strict of a timeline on music, because music's a bit different. It's a large process and there's so much to it. Whereas the comic, like Gray and I can like control that, and I can be like, hey, I will no matter what get a page done a week. Like,
although I would say though, like just by intuition too though, because I was even thinking like it's like as much content as you possibly can. Yeah. And like, because it's kind of like going back to like the Game Grumps thing. So like Game Grumps is, I don't know if you guys watch gaming, whatever. Anyway, it's basically just a let's play of people just playing a game for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and there's like no editing involved. They literally just talk commentary while they're playing the game for 10 to 20 minutes. And it's like, it's not like the most entertaining thing ever, but it's just content every day. They have like 2 of those every day. And it's just kind of like when you're like, whoever, like when I'm eating, I'll just put it on while I'm eating, right? Because it's like I notice nowadays, like too, like watching a show. I feel like everybody in this generation knows this too. Is that like watching a show or movie is like a commitment. It's like right whenever everybody's like, should we watch this show? They're like, I don't know.
That's why you scroll for Netflix.
Yeah,
Netflix for like
whenever
an hour.
you're like with your friends, it takes forever to pick something because nobody wants to commit to watching a show. That's why it's like, oh, let's just watch like Game Grumps or watch like fun. Let's just watch a YouTube video because it's kind of.
I do that with Twitch all the time. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this Twitch stream while I eat breakfast, and then I'm gonna head out to
it's
work.
so like low commitment, right? So that's what I was saying is like if we just have content all the time, like we'll have the fully produced things, but also have that content too. Like I actually think like if we
snacks.
like if we had like live Instagram, almost like let's say we had a live Instagram feed 24/7.
Yeah.
Like that would be like people would just tune in because they're like, well, it's just on. Like I'll just see what they're doing. Like even if it's boring, they know the expectation is it's fucking Instagram live, so nothing insane is gonna happen. But like it's just we're on, like we're there for you guys if you want to watch, right? Like if you want to whatever we're eating right now and we're just chilling or like whatever we're doing. Like I actually think that's like a really good strategy.
I'm really trying to get into now is like drawing live. Like I really want to Twitch stream me drawing the pages. I want to make a talk show out of it even. Like it's almost like podcast / talk show. I've seen some game streamers do
that happens a lot.
Yeah, so like I would be filming myself and then I'm drawing on the screen while I'm filming. Like people could call in and they can ask questions.
Or just they on like YouTube Live or Twitch, they just ask the question.
Yeah, or they just type it in and I just answer it. I want to get more into that. Also, it's like a commitment too, and that's extra content, right? Like you said, those kind of bite-sized things that people want to watch.
But a lot of it could just be the stuff that we're doing anyway. Like since you're drawing, like you said, since you're editing the comic anyway.
Yeah, I have to do that stuff anyway.
So you might as well film it. That's what I was doing with like Brad and I. I was filming us editing. Even though nobody's watching, it's still like. It's like you only need a couple, like it's depth not width, right? It's not the amount of viewers, it's the like viewers it's that one guy that just wants to, like he's like, you know, the guys that are like, oh, I was following you since you were nothing, your biggest fan, whatever, right?
Exactly. It's for those people that, you know, they get through all your other content and then they want the little extra stuff, so they start checking out those things.
It's good to get in the habit of that too, so that we get like more comfortable doing that stuff. So when we first did that first vlog, like in the first, like when Simon was just on the couch on his phone and then Brat was sweeping the floor, it's like the first couple minutes in, it wasn't like obviously super exciting, right? But and then they're like, well, this isn't as exciting as you thought it was gonna be, is it? I'm like, bro, first of all, it's only been like 5 minutes. Second of all, we have the whole day to film all the stupid shit that's gonna happen. And then third, it's like I only need like minimum like 5 minutes of content out of me trying to vlog the whole day. Right? So it's like I'm sure I'll find 5 minutes of stuff worth.
And you did.
Right? And I found like whatever, it was like 8 minutes.
No, it was cool. I actually found it entertaining to watch, so.
Everybody liked it.
Yeah.
Everybody liked it, man. I don't know. I'm glad.
No, that was cool. Yeah.
But that's what I was saying is we should just have, the other thing is like we have to really get good at like storytelling with our phones. You know what I mean? Because it's like everybody's on their phone now, right? Like it's easier. Like I'm still like a laptop guy, but like if the laptop's not around, I'll use my phone. Like, and a lot of kids, like teens and stuff, are probably more on their phones than they are on computers, I'd say. But yeah, we need to get on like other apps too. Like we gotta, because I don't think, like I was saying to you earlier, like I really don't think. I'm starting to really believe that if we're gonna make it or whatever, it won't be on YouTube or whatever, because YouTube is so overpopulated. Like it's just so oversaturated with like content and whatever, and the people that have made it are like they've had followings for such a long time, since like, you know what I mean, early YouTube.
It's like unless you get that one viral hit that really draws, you know, like the Man's Not Hot or something like that. They that guy definitely has a following now on YouTube, like a big one.
Do you think so? Yeah, I'm sure I know he does now. But I'm just, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying to Brat now is like once you get, but the thing with that viral thing is like once you get a viral hit, then it's up to you to make sure that then you're on the like whatever the like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're on the spot.
Like, you're on the spot for like all the rest of your content being as good enough for people to accept you as whatever, right? But
funny as that Man's Not Hot stuff is, I see him fizzling out pretty quick.
Yeah, because it's like
how
the rest
is he
of his
gonna live
stuff.
up to that now?
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing is you might not want to have to like live up to just that. It just might, like your content might be around here, and that might be good enough for like some hardcore fans. It's just that like it wouldn't be good enough for you, like you and I, right? But I think he'll gain a bigger following than he had before, obviously.
Definitely.
But like we were saying, it's like he's on the spot now.
All I see is like rehashes of that one thing now.
Yeah.
It's like all like his new videos are all just like, oh, it's a joke based on that video, and it's like, okay, we can move on. Like, come up with a new bit, please, or something. You know, like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that's why. But you see that all the time with like other artists too, right? Like music artists.
Hit wonders.
Yeah, like one album, one hit wonder. Yeah, like that kind of stuff.
It's like, can they branch out? Like.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's the thing. Is like it's like how much do you love it, right? It's like, do you love it, even though you're making like. First, let's say you make that hit, you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? And then your next album just doesn't work out very well. It's like, do you love it enough to just keep going? Because like, are you doing it for the money to like be famous, or do you just like making music?
Exactly.
Right? Because the thing is, if you're doing the right things and you keep making music, like, I'm pretty sure like at some point you'll get a hit, which obviously isn't the reason why you should be doing it. But if you're doing it the right way, I don't know. I just see it like happening at some point, because you're just gonna keep doing it, right? It's like if you keep, it's like drawing, right? Yeah, that's the way I see it, right? If you keep drawing forever, like as long as you can, like at least a couple of those are gonna be some nice drawings.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. That's why I hear a lot of people who have made it in different avenues. They're like, you know what? I think the slow burn is better.
It's just keep, like,
because like they're like, there's so many people that like they're overnight successes, and then they don't know what to do with it, and then they fizzle out very quick. Whereas like the slow burn, it's like, you know, you get the Rooster Teeths, or you get the Mega 64s, or I'm bringing out gaming stuff right now, sorry. Or I don't know.
That's kind of what I was saying to Brad about like Nig Neg or whatever, is that like, even if we did hit it real big, it'd be nice for a while, but we wouldn't know how to handle it. Like,
no, we wouldn't, because now it's like suddenly we need to keep this up, and we gotta really like hit it home, you know.
And then that, yeah, we'd have a lot of issues because we're so new.
Exactly, like I don't know. It's like you give someone.
It's like millionaires when they win the lotto.
Exactly, yeah.
It's kind of like they just burn all their shit, and then
don't know what to do.
Like a couple of years, they like have so much fun, and then after that, they're kind of back to. Some people even go into debt because they're like, I can't live the like normal life anymore. Because I can't maintain
this lifestyle I've now like built up. Exactly, that's a good metaphor for it. It's just, yeah. Whereas like you see the millionaires that have like built their like fortunes off of like small business, like, you know, like Elon Musk started out and he said he lived in like, he went and showered at the YMCA, and he lived in like his studio for a while, and now look at him, like the guy fucking makes rockets and batteries and shit like that.
That's why I'm worried, because it's like right now,
cars,
like right now it's easy for me to do this stuff because I have so much time and all that stuff. But I remember when I was like working more, like when I was at a personal trainer for a while, and like I didn't have that much time and energy, and it was just like, it was hard. Like I still wanted to and whatever, but it was difficult because I just didn't have as much time and energy.
Yeah, you just need to push it. It's like I've had some nights where I'm definitely like, I don't want to do this, and I haven't. Or there's nights where I'm like really tired. I'm like, no, I need to do this, and I'm like drawing, and I'm like falling asleep as I'm doing it. But I'm like, I gotta do this, otherwise it's not gonna happen. Like no one else is gonna do it for me. And a lot of it is that mindset for sure. It's not this, like I said, I still fall into the, like, I'm way too tired to do this right now. Like when I was working more full time, I was like, fuck, I'm just going to bed. Like I can't do this right now. I'll pick up the pace again in 3 months when I'm not working so much. But it's like, that's a bad mindset if I want to get this anywhere. But
well, it's good if
burning yourself out is tough.
It's good if it's true though, I guess, because then it like, I don't know, I'm just thinking about like thinking ahead, like having a plan makes it feel better.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna work really hard, and then I know when that ends, and then when that ends, then I'm gonna work really hard on my drawing or whatever. Yeah. Right? Like knowing that makes the work feel, but like, you know, working full time feel better. But yeah. No, I don't know. I'd be curious because right now I'm in such a like good spot right now because I can do my work at work. Yeah. Right, and my job is so chill. Like I don't have to do anything, so that's why I just work on Nig Neg, or I guess it's guys making videos now. Like at work, I work on video editing at work, and then outside of that, I have like a ton of time. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and like I was saying, that's why like the momentum's really good right now. And that's why like if we did move in together, it would just be fucking ridiculous. Like we could pump shit out like all the time. Like we could do these let's plays like fucking all the time. We have so much, right?
Yeah. No, that would be nice. It will happen. Just you wait. When content starts coming out like every 3 minutes, that's when you know.
That's why I feel like we should start doing that live shit though. I don't know, man. I think we should rock Snapchat a lot too. We should try to, because Snapchat's huge. And I was thinking like how, because like Snapchat, you need people to like follow you, and then
I feel like Instagram's better for that kind of like live.
yeah, no, the live stuff would be Instagram, but I'm thinking Snapchat's so big with people that like, but you have to understand the app itself, right? So like Snapchat is like
For sure.
it's like an underground kind of personal thing, but I think that could help like Snapchat would be really good for us building our following from nothing, because like we don't have that many fans to deal with, right? So we build depth with the few fans that are even caring to watch, right? And start snapping them back and forth and do funny shit just for them, whatever. And then that could even be like an exclusive thing, right? Or like if you're whatever, like you could be on our Snap story or something else, and like have something like not like sort of like a contest or something like that, or like try to like whatever through Snapchat. 'Cause I think that's a good way. I actually think that's a really good
I've seen some
Snapchat
cool
hack.
marketing methods through that stuff.
Yeah, like I think that's a good hack for Snapchat, right? Because then the biggest thing with Snapchat is like, oh, if they know it's like an ad, if you're right hooking with an ad or whatever, it's like you just gotta click it and then it's gone forever because who gives a fuck? It's an ad, right? But if you have some incentive, like it's a contest or something, like, oh, if you figure out the like configuration of this drawing or whatever, then we'll send you a whatever, right? So it'll force you to like look at it, or just have some subliminal shit, and then just be like, what the fuck does that mean? And then somebody figures it out, and you're like, oh, and then they're like, I know, right? Like I feel like that's a good hack for like Snapchat. But I don't know, what do you like have in mind for this stuff, like guys making videos? Like, do you have any like aspirations, like things? Because I know, remember we were talking about skits, like you could sim really like doing skits.
My aspiration is like, I know like we like doing the short skits, but I would like to eventually make like a video, like a YouTube video, like we did with the TGS video. Longer. It doesn't necessarily have to be that long, but I mean, just like,
I know, like you and Sim like full flushed out
effort into like, hey, we're gonna get costumes for this and we're gonna actually do this skit.
like Mega 64 stuff.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff, like longer, drawn out. Like
I know you and Sim really like that stuff, and I originally like that stuff too. Just that I know the format for Instagram and like all the things are very quick, right?
I understand that.
Because like when we're writing, I can feel it too. It's kind of like when. It's kind of, you feel like we have to be like, oh, hey, how's it going? But it's like for Instagram, you can't have that because it's like
you skip that whole like meeting part and you go straight to the like, what, you slept with my wife? You know,
like you just skip right to it.
Yeah. Which is I think is a good rule of thumb for a lot of things. I've even found that in comics a lot too. It's like when you jump right into the scene where it's like, wait, what do you mean the world's gonna be destroyed if they do this? It's like they skip the whole like, hey, how are you doing? Did you know this? Like, fuck, like,
that's actually like one thing that I feel like with like, this is just my opinion of like of storytelling, is that you should start like every story with either like usually like the best. It's like, you watch Star Trek, the first movie, right?
Yeah. Which one?
Star Trek, the first one.
Oh, like the newer Star Trek. Yeah, I've seen that.
You know, it starts with like, it's got to start hectic. Like the first, 10 minutes of a movie, for example.
It's that car chase, right?
It's like, what the fuck? No. It starts with Kirk's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And then the ship, and then, anyway. But I was saying that the first 10 minutes, or the first like couple pages or whatever, or the first like, it's like not the epilogue, the prologue. It's gotta be fucking hectic. Like it's gotta be like, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. I have so many questions, right? And usually like it would take place like either in the middle or like at the end, right? So it's kind of like a preview.
Yeah.
Right? Not always, right? It can always be like, that's how you can always have it chronological, like that's where it started. But the point is that it's like so many things are happening, it's crazy. I have so many questions and it's just hectic, like
exactly.
Like action.
What's going on? But you're so drawn in right away.
Yeah, you're drawn in like that, and then you can start, because then people know that that's where you're going. Because then people know like, oh, that's where it's going. Then you're like waiting for that. But that's what I think. That's how I would start almost all my stories.
That's why I love things that are kind of like, it's not told in a linear kind of order, which is like the comic writing. We're not doing it like that either. It's like very broken up. There's like flashbacks and stuff that you're not even realizing are flashbacks yet, and shit like that. That's why I love Lost. Lost did that so well. But you knew Lost was like, okay, this is a flashback, or flash forward. But even like some seasons are like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, is this a flash forward? Is it a flashback? I don't know. Anyways, but
that's something that's one of my things that I wanted to do with guys making videos, is that we'd eventually do some like shorts, but like they're not funny shorts though. They'd be like, I have this I guess I'll reveal it here first.
Exclusive.
Should I? Because I had this idea for a scary film.
Yeah, I think you've talked about that before.
But like I had another thing after the part that I told you.
Let's save it.
We'll save it. We'll
You'll
save it.
see
We'll film it
in
and
the
we'll.
future.
But yeah, no. But I want to do shorts. But the biggest thing right now is like it's hard to make a story. Which it's doable, it's totally doable, but make a story with like the limited resources that we have.
Yeah.
Because like even the one that I thought we could film, I realized like, oh, I need like more, like I need like a teacher and I need like a classroom of like people and stuff like other things that I've written that I had ideas for. It's like I need to figure out how to like downscale and make a small story with just like a couple of us, but still make it like meaningful and whatever, and like have some drama in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that I wanted to do at some point.
I mean, scare, like that's just part of scarcity, like we said. Scarcity is good.
But I think it's good too. Yeah. Like it helps you like focus, right? Otherwise, it's like you have too many things that you could possibly do.
Yeah. That's why you see those directors and then they're like indie directors and then suddenly they get a huge budget and they don't know what the fuck to do with it, you know? Suddenly they're given Spider-Man or something and it's like, fuck. Like, they just fucking butcher it or something. And it's like, it's nice to have those like limitations.
It makes you like a good problem solver.
It does, yeah. You gotta be able to write yourself out of a corner in a lot of ways. So I think it's nice. Like the scarcity in the beginning is good because then it teaches you later to be like, hey, I understand less is more. Now I have more, or we have access to more. Now we can utilize that to the best of its potential, ideally.